Hey, my name is not important. My son skipped my wife's funeral, saying it was not worth his time and asked me not to bother him. Hi, I am a 61-year-old man. My wife and I were happily married for 38 years. We have two sons together who are both in their 20s. They have their own lives, and we mostly keep in touch through text. My wife passed away a few weeks ago from an undisclosed illness. She was only sick for a couple of months, but it took her life very quickly. At first, it was just a cold and flu, but then she started having difficulty breathing. I took her to the hospital, and the doctors said that she had pneumonia. They admitted her immediately and gave her medicine. But after a week, they told me that she would need to stay there for at least a month. So I agreed. A few days after I moved in, the doctors told me that she had something in her lungs that they couldn't remove and that she wouldn't make it. I don't want to be too blunt, but they basically told me that she would die. I stayed by her side every day until the end. I read her favorite poetry book and sang our favorite songs until her breathing became very shallow. And when her heart stopped beating, I was right there. After her death, her body was taken to the morgue while we waited for her family to arrive and take care of the funeral arrangements. A few hours later, I got a call from my eldest son saying that he was on his way. But when I answered the door, he just gave me a hug and said, "I'm sorry for your loss." He didn't even come inside. So I just nodded and went back to sitting on the couch. A minute later, he left again. I found out that he went to a bar nearby with some friends. So I called him and asked if he could at least stay the night, but he said, "No, I'm sorry, but I have plans. Maybe tomorrow," and hung up on me. I was deeply disappointed, but I understood that he needed space, so I let him be. The next morning, I called him again, but he didn't answer. So I sent him a text saying, "It's okay, take care." Then I got a call from my youngest son asking how I was doing. I told him about what happened the previous night, and he said, "Wow, I can't believe he did that. Come over, I'll keep you company." Then he arrived and we watched TV and talked until late. He didn't leave until almost 4 a.m. The following day, her funeral was held and her family showed up. Everyone was crying and sharing their favorite memories of her. It was a beautiful ceremony, but I couldn't help but feel like something was missing. After everyone left, I went to the cemetery and laid flowers on her grave. When I came back home, I called my oldest son and asked why he didn't show up. He said I had things to do. I told him that it wasn't just a family gathering, but a funeral, and that it would have meant a lot to his brother and me if he'd been there. He replied, "Yeah, well, I didn't think it was worth my time, so I didn't go. Besides, she's dead. It's not like bringing her back or something." I felt betrayed. My own flesh and blood just called his grandmother's funeral not worth his time. I decided to call him again, but this time my other son picked up. "Hey, where's Dad?" I asked. "Oh, he went to sleep." "He's tired," he said. "Tell him to call me back." "Okay." I then heard my oldest son's voice in the background say, "Don't call him, just leave him alone. He doesn't want to talk to you." Then my other son handed the phone to him and he said, "What do you want?" "Why didn't you come to the funeral?" I asked, because it wasn't worth my time. Like I said before, she's dead. It's not like it'll bring her back. You should get over it. Honestly, you're really pathetic. Then he hung up on me. I was completely shocked. My son just called me pathetic for being upset over his grandmother's funeral. How could he be so insensitive? It makes me sad to think that he has such a horrible view on death. I mean, I lost my mother when I was 20, and I still think of her sometimes. I am currently staying at my other son's place, and he lets me stay here as long as I need. I think that my oldest son might be a narcissist. Is that correct? Also, please give me some advice on how to deal with my situation. Thank you.